Hey everyone, it's Kaycienikole, and today I'm going to take you through a mini stretch and mobilize class where the focus is going to be on the piriformis. Think about the glutes and the outer hips. Now, this class is going to help to open, but also to strengthen into this area. So it can be really great right before any kind of activity or just because. I do have a strap available just in case. It's optional. It just depends on where you are in your practice. So we're going to start off by coming down onto our backs, and we'll be there for the full duration of the practice. As you come into a reclined position, bend the knees, walk the feet in towards the hips, and we're just going to take a couple breaths here to establish a little bit of that breath-body connection. Exhale, let all of your breath out. Through your nose, take a slow breath in, fill up from the hips to the belly, to the ribs, and all the way up into your chest. Hold at the very top, and then open up the mouth and let it go. One more time, slow breath in. Really focus on expanding through the hips, up into your belly, lifting up your torso, all the way up into your chest, holding it here. And then just open up your mouth and release. Allow your breath to just naturally move in and out of your nose from here. Now, with the knees bent, let's take the right ankle and cross it over the top of the left thigh. And then use your right hand to kind of push it forward and back a few times and just feel a little bit of lubrication into the hip to find this external rotation. Now, as you press the thigh forward away from you, this might be where you want to stay. If you're already feeling enough intensity, stay here. Otherwise, left foot's going to lift off the ground, and you're going to take your hands, weave them through, and catch either the back of your left thigh or maybe all the way around the front of your left shin. Make sure that your hips stay down on the ground. If they start to curl up off the floor, you've probably gone a little too far. Or if your head is curled off the ground, make sure your head is supported. But we want the hips to be down. You also have an option of taking a strap around the back of your left thigh and just holding on with your hands, trying to lift it as high as you can. Okay, that's a great option as an in-between. Otherwise, as you pull in, right now, this is a nice passive stretch. So you're using the arms to help leverage and draw in to feel the intensity and the opening through that outer right hip and into the glutes. So as you pull in, feel your hips sink heavy. If you're not lifted off the ground, you can just stay with your foot on the floor, pressing the right thigh forward and feeling your stretch here. Now give yourself about 4 slow breaths as you're in this position. And if you're drawing in, try to relax some tension from your shoulders and from your face. I'll give you another option to tip the legs a couple inches over to the left side. So you might feel your legs tilt a little over to the left, and you might feel your right hip lift just a little bit. And if it does, notice how it adds that depth, that subtle sensation to the posture. Give yourself just a couple more breaths here. So right now we're really just focusing on the flexibility of this, and we're going to take it a little bit more into active engagement. So if the legs did tip a couple inches over to the left, just bring everything back to center. Now, as your hands pull in, or as it's resting down on the ground, we're going to create resistance. So you're going to start to press that ankle that's crossed over the knee. You're going to imagine you're trying to press the ankle through the knee as though it's trying to push forward out in front of you, but your leg's not going to let it move. Or if you're drawing in, keep hugging in and press that right ankle forward, but you're not letting everything move. You're keeping it nice and still, but now you're feeling a lot of activation into that right hip. Feel that activation, feel the muscle engagement, that resistance, holding one more deep breath. Nice. And then go ahead and soften it a little bit here. Now, without using the hands, release your hands away from the legs and just feel your legs trying to pull in closer towards your chest. So if your legs are down on the ground, try to lift them up as much as you can. You're using the strength of your hips here, not letting them curl off the ground. You're pulling in with that left knee, trying to pull that right shin closer towards your chest, using just the strength and the mobility of your hips. Give yourself a couple more breaths. Now, from here, you're going to slowly start to imagine your right foot, the one that's crossed over, is trying to pull towards your chest as you lower your left foot down to the ground until there's a gap of space between your ankle and your knee. If you need to, you can continue to walk your left foot forward, maybe even stretch it long on the ground if you need more separation. Find that gap of space and keep trying to pull the heel in closer and feel your thigh opening away from you. So you're still having that same nice external rotation in the hip. Now you're feeling just the strength of your hip trying to take this shape on its own. One more breath. Now take your right leg, rotate it to center and extend all the way up through the heel. And as you do, your left knee can either be bent or it can be stretched long on the ground. It's entirely up to you. But as you reach up through the top heel, even if there's a bend into the knee, just try to extend as much as you can, heel up and toes back. And then take your leg and tip it a couple inches over to the left, just like we did in that figure 4 position. But now we're doing it with the leg as straight as we can, and you should feel it light up the entire side of your leg, all the way up into your hip. Keep kicking out through the heel and feeling the leg try to pull closer towards your torso. One more breath. Leg back to center, bend the knees, set both feet on the ground with the knees bent, and feel free to shake them out, move them around, loosen them up. And we're going to do the same thing, same sequence, but now on the other side. Keep in mind, they probably will feel different. As the knees come back to center, let's cross left ankle over the right thigh. Use your left hand to help press the thigh forward and back a few times here. And just feel that opening in your hip. And remember, you can always just stay right here if this is already enough of an opening for you. Otherwise, either just press the thigh forward or lift the right foot off the ground and take your hands. Once again, weave them through and catch either the back of your right thigh this time or around the front of your right shin. The hips stay down, head stays down, shoulders, try to relax them a little bit. Even though you're pulling in, use minimal effort. Try not to exude way more energy than what's necessary here. And if you are pulling in, if you want to tip your legs a couple inches over to the right side, feel into that subtle shift of sensation in your body. Notice if it helps to intensify. If it's too much, back off. If it feels good, stay in it. Just focus on your breath in and out of your nose and give yourself a few more here. Let's just take one more breath as we are. If the legs did tip a little over to the right side, just bring them back to that center point. Either continue to hug in with your hands, or if they're down on the ground, just keep your right knee there. You're going to press your left ankle forward. Try to press it through the right leg, but your hands are resisting and keeping them held into place, or your right foot stays rooted, holding it in place. Now, as the left foot presses forward, but it has nowhere to go, you're going to feel the same muscles activating, lifting all the way up into that outer hip and into the glutes. Give yourself a couple more breaths here, nice and active. And then relax the tension And then from here, keep the legs drawn in, but just release your hands anywhere that's comfortable. And now use the strength of your hips to try to pull the legs closer towards your chest. Both legs are working together here, both hips working together here. Your right hip is pulling in, getting that nice flexion. The other hip is still in that external rotation. Give yourself a couple more breaths here. You're continuously drawing them closer and closer, just using that strength and mobility of your hips. Now, from here, continue to feel your left heel pulling in. Your left shin stays as close to where it is right now as you can, but start to create separation between your legs. So right foot might lower all the way to the ground if you need more space. Walk the right foot forward until there's a gap of space, still drawing the left shin closer. Foot's pulling in, knee is opening away, shin draws in. Couple more breaths, nice and strong in that hip. And then as you rotate it back to center, extend up through that left leg, reach up through the heel as much as you can, toes pull back. Right knee can either be bent or stretch it long out on the ground. And as you extend through the top leg, reach through the heel, try to draw the leg closer towards the torso, and then tip it a couple inches over to the right side. Once again, you should feel the entire side of your leg start to light up. And if you don't, keep kicking out through the heel more, feeling the leg draw closer towards the torso, and just tipping a little over to the side, not moving too quick, not going too far. Nice and subtle. Couple more breaths. Then leg comes back to center. Set the foot to the ground, bend both knees, shake out your legs however it feels good. If you want to straighten them out, straighten them out. Hug the knees into the chest. Make your way back up into a seated position of your choosing. Spine up nice and tall and just join your hands together at heart center. Thank your body for all that it does for you. And thank you so much for allowing me to guide you today. Open up your eyes whenever you're ready. So this is one of my favorite ways to target into my outer hips and into my glutes. It's effective, it's quick, I feel nice and open, but I also feel strong and mobile, which means I have more active range of motion. We always want to be able to bridge that gap between our flexibility and strength. And that's the world of mobility. So hopefully you're feeling really good now in your hips. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments. These are quick, short practices. So if you need something else, feel free to take it on your own. And I'm looking forward to practicing with y'all again next time. Thank you.